आपके वालिद की बेशतर ज़िंदगी जेल में गुजरी, फिर भी आप सियासत में आना चाहती हैं, क्यों? क्या कोई मजबूरी है या कशिश?
देखो, I've lost my grandfather and my mother. My family have made a lot of sacrifices for Pakistan. One only needs to go to Gari Khuda Bakhsh to see how many of my family members have sacrificed for Pakistan. However, the options are to either remain silent or speak up. My grandfather chose to speak up for the people's rights. My mother chose to speak up for the people's rights. And my brother also speaks up for all the people's rights on the basis of my grandfather's mission and my mother's vision. My brother speaks up for entire Pakistan. And therefore, we will continue to speak up and stand by our chairman, Pakistan People's Party.
ज़रदारी साहब से एक मुख्तसर से मुलाकात हुई है, कैसी तबीयत है उनकी और क्या कहा उन्होंने?
I first heard about the severity of the situation when a BBC News article had come out saying that my father needed to go to hospital and the government were reluctant to move him. I managed to come to Islamabad to try and meet my father. I had a court order in hand that gave me permission to meet my father. However, once I arrived at the hospital, the authorities had locked all the doors. Patients were not allowed to come in or come out. Citizens were not allowed to enter. I managed to enter and I was waiting for my father to complete some tests. Once I was waiting for him and he was coming back up, a swarm of 30 police officers came surrounding him. The women manhandled me. The men were pushing us back as well. I tried to catch a glimpse of my father, but the police were determined not to let my father see my face. I pushed through, I held his hand. I tried to walk him to his room. However, the women police were still pulling me back and physically trying to restrain me to not let me bring my father to his hospital room. I spoke to his doctors and they stated that they were very concerned as 3 of his arteries are blocked. He's not only a sugar patient, but due to his last 11.5 years of incarceration and when he was being tortured, he had severe back problems and spinal issues that have been reoccurring in this present condition. They were under the impression that further tests needed to be conducted and further treatment needed to continue in the hospital. However, later on that day, I found out via the media that they had shifted my father back to jail, clearly without the doctor's permission. The doctors were being pressurized before and the government clearly succeeded in pressurizing them to shift my father back to jail.
So you're not satisfied with the treatment?
Absolutely not satisfied with the treatment. My father needs to be in hospital under doctor's observations until they say he is fit enough.
इस खित्ते का सबसे बड़ा मसला कश्मीर का मसला है। आपके ख्याल में मौजूदा हुकूमत इस मसले को ठीक तरह से हैंडल कर रही है और क्या सही समत में लेकर जा रही है?
Personally, I think that Imran Khan's delayed speech in Parliament lacked direction. It was a failure. The foreign minister went to Kashmir and stated that the international community, we should not plan on expecting much from the international community, which is ridiculous. It is an outrageous situation that's happening in Kashmir, and there needs to be international as well as national outrage. I would like to reiterate what my father said on the parliamentary floor, that had this happened under his term, that the first flight that he would take would be to the United Arab Emirates, then to China, then to Russia, then to Iran, to call upon our Muslim brothers and sisters and our allies to stand by us and denounce the fascist and humanitarian crisis that is happening in Kashmir.
कश्मीर के मामले पर आलमी बिरादरी का जो किरदार है, क्या आपको लग रहा है वो ठीक है, जो वो कर रहे हैं उन्हें यही करना चाहिए?
No, I think the international community needs to condemn the situation in Kashmir much more. There is not enough condemnation for the situation in Kashmir. The state-backed atrocities that are occurring in Jammu and Kashmir include women who are being raped, children who are being murdered, protesters who are being shot at. If anyone holds a Pakistan flag, soldiers think that they have a right to shoot at them. These are grave human rights violations, and the international world is silent, and their silence is deafening.